Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and today I'm going to talk to you about the common setup mistakes that I see a lot of people make. This week in particular, I've had a lot of people come, and this is exactly what I've seen, probably 30% of my lessons this week. So I thought it was a good time to make a video. If I'm seeing 30% of it in my world, I'm sure you see it out there wherever you are in the world. So, the thing that I see a lot of people struggle with, and this is normal, everyday, average golfers, that's who I'm talking to. I don't really teach too many elite players. I've got a couple, but my purpose for these videos is to get to normal, everyday golfers, not elite. So the thing that people struggle with is getting their low point control right. Now, what is low point control? If we think about the golf swing, we swing it in a semicircular fashion. And the low point in the golf swing is where the club head is traveling at its fastest point. Most of the people that I see have the low point behind the golf ball, away from the target. And what we need to do is we need to move that semicircle a little bit to the left so we can get the low point under the ball. So that's fairly well acknowledged, and this is one of the reasons that people do it. Now, whether they've got an iron, a fairway wood, or a hybrid, most people are playing the ball too far forward in their stance. So if I have this stick here, typically when people come to me and they can't hit a hybrid, a fairway wood, or they're struggling with their longer irons in particular, their ball position's just too far forward. So if I do my golf swing, and that's a semicircular fashion, the low point is basically halfway between my feet. That's really where we want to get the ball. Now, for some of the better players that are more athletic, you can get that low point a little bit more forward than that, but I'm talking to people that aren't necessarily as athletic as we once was. I know I'm not. So we want to get that low point under the golf ball. So that's halfway between my feet, which is there. If we can get that bottom of the arc or the low point under the ball, we have every chance of getting the ball in the air. But if I have my ball there and the low point of my swing is back here in the middle of my stance, from that point forward, I'm going to be on the rise and I'm pretty much going to cold top the shot. So a common type of swing that we see is this. Gee, I'm swinging bad. Why can't I hit that shot? It wasn't the golf swing, it was really poor ball position. So now I'm going to take another attempt at this, and I'm only swinging short at the moment because I'm under doctor's orders. I've got a shoulder issue, which I'm trying to sort through, so it's only going to be a half to a three-quarter shot. So just bear with me. You may have similar issues, so it's probably something that you're familiar with. But if I move the ball into the middle of my stance, and I basically do exactly the same swing that I just did, I hit a much better golf shot. The club got under the ball got in the air. I mean, I really hit that just ever so slightly thin, but it's not a bad shot. So improving the ball position helps you to get the ball in the air. So it's one of those really simple things we can do, which isn't a swing change, it's a ball position change. Without changing your swing, you're going to get a better result. Now, that in itself is good. But what most people tend to do when I see them is they don't transfer their weight correctly through the shot. They tend to hang back a little bit or fall back, reverse pivot. So if my ball position is forward and the ball is on the grass, and my natural instinct is going to be to fall back just a little bit, I'm really going to hit the ground way back here and drop kick it. If the grass is wet, it's going to dig in behind the ball and I'm going to hit it fat, or I will tend to top it. So if your tendency is to fall back, rather than change it, it may also be a good little temporary fix just to move the ball back in your stance a little bit. So that's just back a fraction. You can see there, it's definitely back to the right-hand side. Now, if I swing and hit this falling back which is what I see a lot of people do, at least I got the club underneath the ball. And it's not a great swing, and I'm not encouraging you to do it, but rather than change your swing, if you just modify that ball position, it's going to put you the odds more in your favour. So these are the little things that we can do that will make a big difference. So what I've said so far applies to fairway woods, hybrids, long irons, short irons. It even applies to wedges. I had a guy yesterday that was actually a good player. He was high single figures. And over the last few months, he's just lost the ability to hit a pitch. And his ball contact is terrible. He hits it fat, he hits it thin, and he was blaming his golf swing. It was as good as a lesson could actually go, because all I did is move the ball position back into the middle. So there was no swing change. And he came wanting me to change his swing. So he had the ball there for the same reason. You can see that's pretty much where I'd hit a driver from with the ball on a tee. So if I do that, and even if I stay and keep my chest in the same position or my head in the same position at impact that it is now, I'm going to make contact with the ground there. So that means I'm going to be hitting up on it slightly. So that means I'm either going to blade it or I'm going to hit the ground behind the ball, much the same as we discussed with the hybrid. When you're hitting these little wedges, little gap wedges, lob wedges up over the bunker, we want to make good contact with the golf ball. So what I suggested to this client yesterday was, let's just move the ball back into the middle of the stance. He also had his head behind the ball. So the way I like to think of it is not head, it's nose. So we want our nose to be located over the middle of my feet. So my nose should be over the orange stick, because even if my ball position is right, and I've got my nose back here, so if I plumb bob from my nose, it's 3 inches or so behind that line, it's going to make me hit behind the ball and hit up through the ball. So if I can get my nose pretty much over that orange stick, or it would be even advantageous to have it maybe a ball width in front of the stick, but just from the simple ball position change, nose position change, we can come through and we can make good contact with the pitch. So that was quite a nice pitch. And you can see there that I've hit just under the ball and the ball was hit well. So don't be so quick to change your golf swing, even if there's an issue. And as I said, a lot of people do this on the way down. Sure, in a perfect world, you wouldn't want to do it. But just see what happens if you just tweak the ball position a little bit and get used to that position. And then maybe when you're going to have a break from playing, maybe through winter as we're about to face in Australia, maybe that's a good time to start making some change and let's get some movement going forward. But there's ways in doing it. Don't just think I've got to go forward. There's things that we can do to help you. But in the meantime, changing your swing is hard. It takes a lot of work. You have to hit a lot of balls. Changing your ball position's easy. It's done in 5 seconds and you'll be quite surprised at the results. So thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.